Hi guys, how's it going? It's Adam in the garden. Today I'm going to talk to you about hydrangeas. Did you know that there are 5 different types of hydrangeas? There are macrophylla, smooth, oak leaf, climbing, and this hydrangea, or this type of hydrangea rather, which is the Panicula hydrangea. This one specifically is called the polar bear, and it's polar bear because it's white, right, as polar bears are. This one gets huge, 8 feet tall and wide. All of my hydrangeas are still on the young side, so they don't have the full maturity yet. This one is really interesting because the flowers, while they're white, they do also kind of look like teeth. And so you can see maybe here how the edges are kind of like teeth. And this one, the flowers get up to a foot long in the conical form. One of the biggest problems about hydrangeas is finding the right spot in the garden to plant them. Generally speaking, hydrangeas have a garden zone of 3 to 9 and prefer part shade. Of course, part shade does also mean part sun, but I wouldn't recommend more than 6 hours a day of sun. And what's more, it really does depend on the type of sun that it gets. The next hydrangea that I'm going to show you is kind of an oops of planting and location. This is the Panicula hydrangea Skyfall. Now, as you can see, it has a lot of burn on it from that harsh morning sun that we get here. So this one does need a little bit of attention and thought into whether or not it gets transplanted to a different location or not. However, this one in general is a zone 4 through 9, and so here being in zone 6A, I figured that it would be fine, but I need to find a little bit more shade or wait until everything else can grow up a little bit more to provide it for its shade. Now, one of the things about the Skyfall is that the flowers themselves actually look like hyacinths, and later on in the summer they will produce more and really take on that hyacinth style and shape. Now, this one does get to 4 feet tall and about 2.5 feet wide. So again, this is a young plant and a new transplant, which is why that could also be one of the reasons for its struggle. Another thing I should mention about hydrangeas while we're here is that all hydrangeas, hydro, right? We get the root word hydro, meaning water. All hydrangeas love water. They love to drink water, but they don't like to swim in it. So they do want well-drained soil, light soil, not heavy, dense, clay-like soil. They also need fertilizer. They love to eat, and so they need fertilizer about once a month, especially during the blooming season. This one is called the Summer Snow. Now, this was cultivated in 2018 by Alex Shoemaker, and this one is quite a small little guy. He only gets to about 3 feet tall and wide. It is one of my absolute favorites because the coloring is just fantastic with its white, creamy white, slightly green, limey green color. This one does not turn any shade of pink or red as the summer continues into autumn. This one's just fantastic, looks like snowballs. It's a great one. And this panicula is called the Silver Dollar. It is really a strong stemmed, just a fantastic hydrangea. This one does grow from zones 5 to 9. So keep that in mind as you're planting your garden, which zone you are in. And this one can get up to 8 feet tall and wide, so also do take that into consideration as well. Again, the stems are extremely strong, giving it a very nice vertical presence in the garden. And this is the Hydrangea Phantom. Now, I personally don't know why it's called Phantom. I would prefer to call it bridal dress or something, grandmother's lace, because for me, the flowers really do look very dainty and lacy, like you would find in a Victorian wedding dress, something like that. This one does grow up to 8 feet tall and wide as well, like the Silver Dollar and the Polarbear and those other hydrangeas. So do be mindful of that if you're planting this in your garden. But again, this one is a little bit different from the Polarbear and the Silver Dollar because of the flower patterns, which you can see they all are a little bit separated from one another, giving it that really delicate, lacy, beautiful, airy look. And this one is a little guy right now because he's a new plant. But this is the Diamantio Panicula, and the flowers, like I said, it is a young baby, new planting. So the flowers right now are quite small, maybe about 3 inches, but they will get 3 times the size, quite honestly, 8 to 9 inches in their conical shape. Now this one does get about 4 feet tall and 4 feet wide, adding a very nice shrub to even a compact garden. And the next hydrangea that I want to show you is the Samarska Lydia. Now this one was cultivated in France in 2018 from its parent, the Samarska Lydia, and it was first put on sale in 2019. Now, since this is a new variety, there is still not a lot known about it. However, it is zone 6 through 9 and will grow about 4 feet wide and only about 3 feet tall. Now, this one does get blooms up to about 6 inches in height with beautiful white at the beginning of the season, white blooms turning slowly pink and red as the season continues into autumn. And this is one of the hydrangeas. It's probably one of the most famous through many small gardens and residential areas. This is the Limelight hydrangea. One of the reasons why it is so popular is because of its huge conical flowers that are creamy white and turn green later on through August, etc. And that's why it gets its name, Limelight. Now this one is huge, and also this one does like the sun more than shade. And so this one will get up to 10 feet tall and 8 feet wide. So a lot of bang for your buck with one plant. Now, something that I haven't mentioned yet is if you want bigger flowers in your hydrangeas, then you really do need to trim early on in the season or late in fall, which will provide more energy for the flowers you will have, making them bigger. If you don't do any trimming or any pruning, then you'll have a lot of flowers, but they'll be much smaller in size. So this is the Limelight. This hydrangea is the Vanilla Fraise, or Vanilla Fraise. Now, it does grow in zone 3, which means that, well, 3 through 9, but it has a cold hardiness of zone 3. So if you are in a colder climate, this one might be the right one for your garden. Now, one of the fun things about this is as the summer continues, it turns from this white cone down into slight pink at the bottoms. These flies are getting me. And so it kind of does look like an ice cream cone as the summer goes into autumn. Now, this one does have more of a weaker stem as some of the others that I've already shown you. And so if you want, you can stake these up, giving them a more vertical structure, perhaps for a formal garden, where otherwise they're just kind of loppy, which also looks great if you want more of the English garden kind of informal, cozy atmosphere. But think about this one. And this last hydrangea is the Wimm's Red. Now, this one is quite interesting because it has almost a double type of flower to it, with these little tiny popcorn buds, which do bloom a little bit there into these bigger ones that kind of stand and look like kind of butterflies, in fact. I don't know if you can see that or not. Now, this one does turn, as its name mentions, Wimm's Red. This does turn into a very deep kind of a red wine color as the summer continues into autumn, rather. Now, this one is interesting in that it gets wider before it gets tall, and it will get up to 6 feet, 5 to 6 feet wide, and only about 4 feet tall. And sometimes life happens and your memories aren't what they used to be. This final hydrangea in today's video was one that my parents gifted me in 2019 when they last visited Ukraine. I don't remember if it is a vanilla fraise or if it's a strawberries and cream or even a green apple. I don't think it's a green apple because it does kind of turn a reddish color, which the green apple does not. However, this poor little guy has been transplanted probably 5 or 6 times now, struggling to find the right location. It seems to have found it and is doing fantastic this year. So we'll see how it grows, and maybe I'll be able to find out some more information about it as it matures. All right, guys, well, that's going to do it for today's video. In the next few videos, I'll be showing you more about the other types of hydrangeas, which I mentioned at the beginning of today's video. But do remember to like, comment, share, and subscribe to this channel, as it really does help me out and kind of lets me know to keep going. Do you like this type of material, this content, or not? So please do like and comment as well. All right, bye, guys.